by college students. All here for one thing, and it's not what you might think. They're here to compete for a national championship. 16 of the best women's college bowling teams in the nation made it to Reno, but only 4 remain. The X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships are next.
Welcome to the 2014 X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships. Now let's meet the teams competing for the title. From Chicago, Illinois, the Robert Morris University Eagles, coached by Dale Lehman. From Pikeville, Kentucky, the University of Pikeville Bears, coached by Ron Dameron.
So here's how they got here. Pikeville defeated Grandview, and Robert Morris, Illinois, dominated Lindenwood to make it. So it's Pikeville looking for their 3rd title in school history, and Robert Morris, Illinois, their 1st for the women. Inside, I'm Dave Lamont, joined by USBC Hall of Famer and former college bowler herself, Carolyn Doran-Ballard, and you have been in the shoes of these women in this team competition. What's it like?
Absolutely. The team Baker format is so different than the individual format. This is for all the marbles with 4 other players, and honestly, you're up there throwing the shot for every single one of your teammates. Not only that, these are your friends for a lifetime. I mean, these are the people that have seen you in the good and the bad, and it continues way after college.
All right, so I'm going to have to put you on the spot. Who do you like here?
I'm going to go with the experience. I'm going to go with Pikeville, although I think Robert Morris has bowled phenomenal this week. I'm going with the experience because of the lights and the cameras.
Now, Pikeville in this show last year lost to Maryland Eastern Shore. We'll see if they can come back and get their 3rd title in school history. Let's meet the coaches. First off, for the Bears at Pikeville, Ron Dameron in his 14th season. National championships in 2004 and 2008, and a finalist this year, Dale Lehman, the head coach of Robert Morris in his 9th season. They're looking for their 1st national title. They had a strong regular season, winning the Western Shootout, the Titan Invitational, the Warhawk Open, Keystone Quaker Classic, Lehigh Valley Collegiate Classic, and the Eagles Baker Challenge. And it'll be Pikeville leading off. Brianna Larson. If you watched last year, some of these ladies will be familiar to you. Brianna, one of them. Start for Pikeville, and if you are watching college bowling for the first time in a team format, this kind of emotion after every shot is part of the fun.
You actually get exhausted watching them, but it's part of it. Baker is, to me, the ultimate team bowling. I mean, you get 2 shots, and they need to be your best 2 shots.
Now, with her back turned to the camera, and she'll be facing in a moment, is Lori Hankin. And Hankin, pardon me, she had been with McKendree for 3 seasons, then sat out 2 years and decided she wanted to get back into college bowling. And she has Messenger is going to miss the 10-pin and a tough start for Robert Morris.
When she let that ball go, she looked like she really liked it. It just didn't quite finish hard enough into the pocket, comes in half pocket, and left the 7-10. And here's one of the key factors. It's a split. More than likely, you're not going to make the 7-10.
Boy, she does.
But in Baker format, and when you only have 2 shots, you get the wood. Make sure of 1.
And we need to take a moment to explain the Baker format and the numbers that you're seeing on the uniforms as we show you the Pikeville lineup. And on Pikeville wearing them on their skirts, Robert Morris wearing them on their jerseys. The numbers are significant. Those are the frames you bowl. So Brianna Larson, whom you saw strike, will be back in the 6th frame. Ashley Copley right here will bowl again in the 7th frame after she finishes her turn here. 3 and 8, 4 and 9, and your anchor wears 50. She will bowl the 5th and the 10th frames. can substitute if the coach desires for a shot. Sometimes you get a substitute late just to give her a chance to bowl or maybe to set up a shot for the next game. We're doing best 3 of 5 in this format. And you see they need 1 pin. They don't get it. But still high fives. That's always, I find that so interesting. The support for when things don't go well is sometimes as strong as when they do.
All of team bowling is about the support of what you're going to give your next teammate, because you need to keep them mentally focused and know that they've got to get up again. But missing single pins, they said spares were very important this week, and missing single pins is giving away too many pins, especially in this format.
So here's Katie Sexton, senior from Dyer, Indiana. She's bowling frames 2 and 7. And a late break and a ringer for a 10-pin. Good ball, though. And the other thing you'll notice is lots of huddles, lots of conversations. This is what you bowlers never watch the other bowler. Almost never.
Well, some bowlers do, but I choose not to, and I don't know why, really. I just don't want to know, because really it's about you and the pins. It's really not about the other bowler, but it really is more about moral support. And before she got up on the lane in that huddle, I could hear them say, just take a deep breath and make a good shot.
And what is our pattern for this championship match?
We're bowling on a 38-foot pattern. It's actually 26 mils. This pattern actually allows you to play a little bit more in the track area, although really flat, still gives you that hole. That's what you should be playing on this pattern to start.
And from the left side for Pikeville, Astrid Valiente, grad student from Puerto Rico. And she was a little wide there. You don't see a lot of lefties. And what is the advantage to being in the minority here?
Well, the lanes aren't going to break down as much. They're not going to transition. So once you get lined up, you shouldn't have to make any big moves. It'll be more with what we talked about already, is maybe just a little bit of a ball speed change. The other thing is you want to keep your angles as straight as possible, because there's not a lot of mistake area.
Pikeville from Kentucky. And a chop there, so a tough start for Pikeville. Back-to-back open frames, unmakeable spares. And Robert Morris off an open and a spare in lane 2. Will send out their number 3 bowler. Leah Hayworth, a junior from Turnwater, Washington.
We can't harp on it enough that spares were really important this week, especially in the low-scoring matches. So need to really take your time and make sure you make the spare.
And a big shot. First strike for Robert Morris.
Very direct, hitting about the 6th board at the arrows. Very straight to the pocket, gets the mixer. That was the best carry this week.
So now it'll be up to the senior Christina Halen for Pikeville to get them restarted. Another lefty. Wow. Explosive shot from Halen.
Much more direct to the pocket, more left to right, and that is the look that you need on this type of pattern. Not only that, both teams before they started resurfaced their bowling balls with fresh surface.
Well, we talked to coaches and players at this event, and they said, yeah, the pattern's tough, but we liked it. It was consistent. Tawny Vollmer, senior. Breaks late. Oh, a big break there. That would have been 2 7-10s for Robert Morris on their first go-around in the lineup.
Coming into the pocket really light, almost leaving the 7-10, but the pin comes across, hits out the 10 pin. One of the things, she doesn't have as much surface on her ball. She opted for 1,000, so I wouldn't move off that shot. All I would do, slow down my ball speed a little bit, get it to roll up just a little sooner. You don't want to change your angle.
Got it. These teams have been strong all season in the women's final power rankings. Robert Morris 3rd and Pikeville 6th. Only Wichita State and Weber, 2 perennial powers in this game. Obviously not here for this final. We're higher than Robert Morris. Lindenwood and Wright State were 4 and 5. Caitlin Simpson, outstanding player, led Pikeville in average this year, almost 195. Got it.
Looking to play the hold on the lane, hitting about 12 at the arrows. Shinier ball, direct to the head pin, gets the light hit.
Well, the interesting thing to watch here, Carolyn, as this goes on, Pikeville's been here. They know the lights. We have seen teams make their first appearance on television. They struggle. They really do. The atmosphere gets to them. Pikeville had a chance last year to get a game from Maryland Eastern Shore and couldn't do it. You get a 10-pin here for Robert Morris. Do you detect any nervousness in the Robert Morris team?
I think a little bit. Yeah, you know, like I go back and say, you're on TV. How are you not nervous? Number one. Second of all, you're right. They've never been there before, so it's going to be key that they feed off of each other and calm each other down, because really the nerves have a tendency to take over. You know, I've been up there numerous times, and I'm telling you, my feet just don't want to go. They just don't want to go. So it's just going to be more about that mental focus and calming down to make that shot.
So Samantha Kelly will have the 10-pin to convert. And no trouble at all. So a pretty even start, close match between these two opponents. Best 3 out of 5 to take home the Helmer Cup at the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships.
The national governing body for bowling, providing services, resources, and standards for the sport. To learn more, visit us at bowl.com.
Certainly one of the capital cities of bowling around the country, Reno, Nevada, with this Reno Sparks Convention Center converted into an outstanding facility. We welcome you back inside of the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships, Pikeville and Robert Morris, Illinois. We go to the 6th frame. And the return of Brianna Larson. She struck to get things started for Pikeville. Boy, she got a big break. The 10-pin kicked out to 6.
Missed way left of target on this. I mean, she was hitting 6 at the arrows. She hit about 13, 14 on that shot, but gets the break. And I don't know, I've never seen anybody hyped up about a Brooklyn so much, but I'll tell you, when it turns into a triple, it's great.
I don't know what was going on in the Robert Morris huddle as you see their location. The Eagles, that's a school that's been around 100 years, more than 100 years, an enrollment of 7,300. But Lori Hankin, who you see here, was laughing in the huddle as if somebody just told her the funniest joke of all time. So it's not all serious. And Lori at a 7-10 her first time, and she'll have that 7 wobble but not fall down.
Still coming in just a little bit light, hitting 10-11 at the arrows. Honestly, I think she's a little deep. She's getting the light hit. She left a 7-10. She leaves the light 7-pin. The pattern is flat. I think she needs to make that 2-in-1 move to the right. Just keep her angles the same. I think she'd be just fine.
Certainly has the experience to make whatever changes are necessary. And no trouble there. So Robert Morris down 9 through 6. Got to get 3 points. Now normally the matches are 4 of 7 to get to this point. In previous years, when we've gotten to the televised finals, it was best 2 of 3. Change was made this year to sort of get a compromise between what is typical and what is television condensed, and we're 3 out of 5. You see the Pikeville Bears, founded in 1889. That's just pure power. Explosive shot that time for Ashley Copley.
She's very aggressive into the line, has a lot of ball speed, not a lot of hand rotation. I'm telling you, she's got a great look.
4 in a row for Pikeville. Robert Morris has just 1 strike so far. Katie Sexton will try to do something about that. And everything but 1. That will be the 4th, Carolyn, single pin leave and 5 of the last 6.
Ball breaking just a little high into the pocket. She has a little bit slower ball speed than her teammate who's playing around the same area. And ball breaks just a little high to leave the 4 pin. That's why I said speed control on this type of pattern is so crucial. Not about changing your hand and changing balls and moving everywhere. Just a little slower, a little bit harder really keeps you still in that same zone.
She knows she had it, didn't even look at it as she walked away. So Robert Morris, after an open frame in the first off of 7-10, has been clean, but only the 1 strike, whereas Pikeville with opens in the second and third, but they've strung together 4 in a row after that, and they have the lead by 20. Valiente. Second time she has left trouble. First time it was a 1-2-4, which she just didn't, 1-3-6, which she just didn't make. This time she's left a split.
Right, last shot she missed to the left, opened up her angles too much. This way, on this shot, she closed down too much, made too much of the adjustment, and paid the price for it. She has to be somewhere in between. And really, if you're going to be that square to the line, you just have to make sure that you don't close down on it, which means your shoulder gets in front, and that causes you to miss way right.
So again, we talk about the importance of count, and every ball, every pin matters in this format, and she'll pick up 1 there. So suddenly Pikeville's lead has disappeared. So Robert Morris has been steady, if not spectacular. Pikeville has been all over the board. 3 open frames and 4 strikes, and that open in the 8th has evened this match. Leah Hayworth for Robert Morris, Illinois. Beautiful shot. That deserved a strike. That was flush in the pocket. We'll be back with more from the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships right after this. Collegiate Team Championships. Christina Halen, she started the string of 4 straight strikes and will not get it this time. And here is that 1-3-6 that haunted Pikeville earlier in the match, and it's back. You see how Pikeville defeated UMES. That's the defending champions of this event. Wichita State, Grandview, and they had to do it twice because Grandview had been unbeaten, and they had to defeat Grandview twice in order to get rid of them, and they did.
She's changing to a straighter ball to shoot the spare.
Oof, that was close.
That was up in the air. Every time I feel like when you leave the head pin,
Yeah.
I always think to myself, I mean, it's a strike target. Really, it's the head pin. So I always think, well, you should throw your strike shot and hook into that instead of throwing straight at it. But she proved me wrong on that one.
Not by much. That was close on the head pin. 196 is the best Pikeville can do. That will be up to their anchor. Robert Morris can punch out for 216. Valmer, a little high, broke up a potential very difficult shot into a single pin. But there's one thing we can tell you about college bowling, having watched a lot of it over the last years, is that the nerves do play a part. And even with gifted players like you're seeing here, they can make mental mistakes and leave behind the simplest of spares.
I don't think bowlers put enough emphasis on the mental game. It's really, it's more mental than it is physical. I'm sorry, you're up there maybe 20% of the time throwing a shot. The rest of the time you're in the back thinking about it. What are you doing? Where are you going to stand? What adjustments you're going to make? The mental game is so underrated.
And especially in a format where you're only throwing 2 frames.
Absolutely.
With this Baker format, she covers that 9-pin with no trouble at all. Well, you like this, folks, because we're dead even through the foundation.
I like it. I think it makes for exciting TV.
Well,
if I was throwing the shots, I wouldn't like it.
We believe in you, and that's the big word for Pikeville this year is believe. The necklace that you see around Caitlin Simpson is believe. That is their word of the year for them. So it's down to our 2 anchor bowlers. Caitlin Simpson first. Oof, big break. Big break. Looks like 2 pins came up and took out that 7.
Looked like good shot, just like her last one, but came in half pocket, almost leaving the 7-10 and 2 pins. You're right. Hit the 7, got it out of there. She's using a ball that gets down the lane a lot further. Trying to play the hold, ball's just not rolling enough in the mid part of the lane to make it up to the pocket.
Nicely done on the 10. So 185 will be the max for Pikeville.
So here we go back to the fill shot. How important is that fill shot? And people ask that all the time. Well, look at the score. She needs to get all 10 because then you force the team to make sure they mark and get count.
Well, let's go back to Pikeville's second frame when they left a single pin and didn't convert it.
Absolutely.
You know, that's going to end up being huge, potentially. In the 8th frame, when 4 pins were left and only 1 was converted. Good ball here. And this time the 7-pin doesn't get double tapped, so she gets a 9. 184. And now it's up to Samantha Kelly.
9 spare strike, I believe, is the winner.
You are correct. I'd give him a 185. A strike here would go a long way to helping. Two total different dynamics on the behind the bowler right now. You've got one group not watching, one group intently watching. Good looking ball. Beautiful kick. Boy, that was a nice shot from Samantha Kelly.
Absolutely fantastic shot. It was perfect. Look at this. I mean, great form at the line, just aggressive through it, playing the right part of the lane. She loved it. Now, I'm not going to say anything about count again.
No, go ahead.
But you definitely want to make something you can pick up.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Needs 9 to win. Now, if by some chance we end up with a tie, each team will get a half point. Or you can just do that and end all discussions and take thinking right out of it.
That right there, pure perfection on shot 10 and shot 11 to lock up this first game. Beautiful. There's nothing more you can say about it.
That's what anchor bowlers are supposed to do, and that's what happened right here. Samantha Kelly gives Robert Morris, Illinois, the first point. They'll need 2 more to claim the Helmer Cup and take the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championship back to Chicago.
What is the
Robert Morris, Illinois, throwing 2 gigantic strikes. In the 10th frame, a sub took care of the fill, and Robert Morris picks up the first point over Pikeville in this best 3 of 5 for the Helmer Cup in the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships with the Hall of Famer Carolyn Doran Ballard. I'm Dave Lamont, and we thank you for joining us. We love this event. And happy to bring it to you again from the Reno Sparks Convention Center this year in Reno, Nevada. Game 2, Robert Morris, and their leadoff bowler remains Lori Hankin. And Lori has seen way too much of the 7-10, and that time she gets them both.
I'm not sure she was sure it fell down. Went on her way back.
Well, in this game, with your teammates, they'll tell you.
Playing the same part of the lane, about 9-10, comes in very light, gets a break, and she had already turned around, and they're all high-fiving her, yes, and she's like, what?
Well, in the first, if you're just tuning in, the very first shot for Robert Morris was Lori, and it was a 7-10 split. And a Larson. He struck in the first frame of the first game, and this ball goes Brooklyn, and shot the 5. And you can see the look on her face. Those are the unhappy high fives that I got away with a shot there.
She wasn't happy with that shot at all. Missed way left the target, just a bad shot. Pulled right through it, but she got a break. And once again, it's tough. You know, commercial break, you're waiting. Not only that, you just lost the match. You know, I'm sorry, the game. So there's a lot going through your head. You gotta be prepared when you get up there on the approach.
Talk about the year that Robert Morris and Pikeville have had. Pikeville won 6 tournaments this year. Yeah, no trouble at all. So we're not notified of any lineup changes, and so far it's holding form for Robert Morris. Number 2 bowler remains Katie Sexton. Really, I don't know if there's any need for a lineup change, but you never know. Coaches certainly have the right to do that.
The other thing you may not see is a lot of ball changes or moving on the lane. The girls have a little bit of a lower rev rate, not going to break down the lanes as much as the men will, so they'll be able to stay in the same part of the lane, maybe just change ball speed, maybe one, you know, the 1-and-1 parallel move. That's it.
Yeah, Katie Sexton mixed them up. And a double to start things for Robert Morris.
Robert Morris means business. Great shot. Coming in light and gets the mixer, blows that 7 right off.
Well, that's 5 strikes in a row now, counting the punch out in the 10th for Robert Morris. The Eagles, Lady Eagles. That missed the head pin badly. So a little trouble early in this game for Pikeville. They're already down 1-0.
Ashley has a lot of ball speed, goes very direct to the pocket. She has to make sure that ball gets into a roll.
So Robert Morris, you see the ladies behind her with how many pins they need down is the number of fingers in the air.
I had no idea what that was. The very first time I saw it. No, I didn't.
Come on, nope. So an early opportunity for Robert Morris is there. They're up by a lot, as you see right there, 25 early, but we have a long way to go. And I can't tell you how many times you and I watched the qualifying where we went, oh, this match is, oh no, it's not over, and teams made comebacks.
And that spare shot is an example of the pattern when we talked about it. I mean, 38-foot pattern with a lot of mills. You've got to make sure you hit the dry just a little bit to get that ball to the head pin.
Leah Hayworth rolled it well in that first game for Robert Morris. It continues. That's 6 strikes in a row for the Eagles. 3 from the previous game, and now 3 here.
Got that ball a little bit further right than where she's been playing. Hit about 7, but hit the head pin just enough to get that light mixer, knocking out that bucket.
Esper Valiente. Her best ball easily. She struggled a little bit on that left lane. Switching to the right lane, she found the right number there. We'll be back with more action from the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships. now for Robert Morris, trying to keep it going. Tawny Balmer. Something she didn't like. Steps aside.
She set up, she stepped on the approach, she went to set up, she took her hand out of the ball, she put it back in, didn't like the feel. She did the right thing. This is a great tip for bowlers at home. If you don't feel it's right, step off the approach, put your ball down, and refocus. Reset yourself.
Well, that's just unfair. Certainly didn't seem to bother her that she stepped aside, because that was a pretty ball.
No, that's proof. That's proof right there. She stepped off. She refocused on what she needed to do. This was a perfect shot. Bad break, stone 8.
Well, when we talked to the Eagles coaching staff about Tawny, they've said she's so determined, so reliable, and almost never makes a bad shot. And that was an example of not making a bad shot. And no trouble at all there. Big smile after that. So Pikeville will turn to their number 4 bowler, Christina Halen.
Did you see her kiss her necklace before she got on the approach?
It's another believed necklace. That's right. In a word, she was described by Ron Damron as intense. Got a break. She's got a makeable spare. So for the moment, Pikeville just hasn't hit it with this right lane.
Nope, going up a little bit high, but she got the break. Key component on the lane pattern is angle through the front. If you're a little too direct, there's that hold to the right for, of course, the left-handed bowlers, and that ball's just going to stay right there.
There you go. There's 2. I don't think any other team does that, and I've seen this event now for several years, and I think we're the only ones who do that. But each team has their own little way to celebrate besides the high fives that you see there. Some of them will dance. Some of them have sayings specifically targeted for players. Samantha Kelly slammed the door shut on game 1 with a double in the 10th frame. This time she's going to have to work for the spare at 2-8.
Good aggressive shot. Now remember, this left lane, this is the one that went through transition a little more than the right lane even earlier. So it's going to be interesting to see if it does the same thing here with the next couple games.
So a quick coaching tip. How do you approach making this?
Well, you have the 2-pin. So I would make it simple and move a couple off my strike shot and use my strike target. Spare shooting doesn't need to be fancy.
All right, so a mistake this time. So now Caitlin Simpson steps up with an opportunity to pull Pikeville even closer. Simpson was a big part of Pikeville's drive to get to the championship game a season ago. Leading scorer for this Pikeville team, and she stood up straight when she threw it, and you could tell she was very unhappy with it.
She didn't like that ball at all. She missed left of target. She also came around it a little bit. Just not a good shot. You can see she stands right up after she lets it go. She doesn't really stay with it. Her shoulders. just a bad shot. I really do think she's playing a little deep. I think she's a little bit too deep. I think this pattern is playing more from the 5, 6, 7, 8 area. I think you need to keep your angles straight through the front. That's who we've seen have the best reaction. And I think her teammates need to help her adjust to that.
But she covers it very, very easily. And when we come back, we'll talk to Pikeville's head coach, two-time national champion Ron Damron will join us as we return to Reno in a moment.
Jack Link's beef jerky
Is growing fast, but there's still work to be done. Learn how to start a program at your college. Please visit bowl.com/collegiate to find the Start a Program tab. And you too could maybe wind up on television and bowl in some great events around the country to get here. Lori Hankin. She's done some anchor bowling as well for Robert Morris, but sort of revolving between either her or Samantha Kelly. But so far today, Hankin has been in the leadoff position.
They both hit the pocket consistently, so it's nice that you can go back and forth between those two positions.
2-8-10.
Her ball continues to slide right through that middle part of the lane where the pattern tends to get tighter at the end, and her ball keeps coming in just a little bit light. She leaves a 2-8-10. And like we heard Coach Ron say about Caitlin, he's going to move her right and try to get her ball to hit the friction. I think that Lori needs to do the same thing.
So she very wisely gets the best she can do there, realistically, to pick up 2. So a veteran move there. But the lead is shrunk to a dozen. And Pikeville, the door is reopened for Pikeville. And leadoff bowler Brianna Larson. Again, if you're just tuning in, the numbers reflect the frames the bowlers bowl in. So Brianna Larson, you'll see on her skirt, number 16. That's not a uniform number. That designates her frames, 1st and 6th. But way right here. And gonna leave 3.
Brianne hasn't looked very comfortable yet at all. Gets us way right out to 3-4. And as we've talked about how tight they are down lane, you just can't miss that far right. There is no recovery. And Dave, here's another example of the 1-2-5, right? So here's where I say the head pin's up, and she's using her strike ball. So see, that's where I think it's easier to hook into it, especially when you have the sleeper.
Ooh. The 8-pin stand, so an open frame right when Pikeville had an opportunity because Robert Morris had it open, and it goes right back to a 26-pin advantage for the Lady Eagles.
This pattern is very tough. It's very challenging, and that's why spares were so important. So it's not about how many strikes you're throwing in the game. It's how many open frames you're leaving by missed spares. You're going to leave a split every now and then, and you know what? Your carry may not be good, but the pins you're leaving, you have to make the spares.
Well, Pikeville left 2 open frames in the first match, and one of them a single pin, and now they've left 2 in this match. Big ball there. Robert Morris getting the strike from Katie Sexton.
Great shot. She has a little bit more rotation on the ball, allows it to get up to the head pin just a little bit harder than her teammates. She gets the swisher. Needed that right after that open frame.
So now Ashley Copley. That just sort of seemed to skid down the lane.
She's really hard and straight, and she tends to want to pull through it. And she was missing left earlier. This one, I also think she had a ball change, and I'm going to double check on that. But she went to a ball that goes down the lane a little bit longer. And on this pattern, you just need surface, and you need a ball that's going to roll up and roll off the spot. The spot is around that 5, 6, 7. You just got to make sure the angles are straight in the front, and that was way too far to the right.
Just sort of a picket defense alignment here is no fun to pick up. Well, that's beautiful. That's perfect execution on one of the nastier spares you'll run into. However, Pikeville's not gaining any ground.
Gets that head pin just enough to get them off the deck. Not an easy spare. Not an easy spare on this condition. It really isn't.
Leah Hayworth. She's thrown it really well. Even the single pin she left behind was a solid hit, just left an 8. And she slides a little bit to the right and knocked the 8 back out of there and is left with the 2. So all of a sudden we're starting to see these shots. What's going on here?
Well, she was not as smooth out of that shot. You could hear the ball hit the lane. She got out of it really late. Ball did not roll the way she's been doing it earlier in the games. And as you can see, she paid for that, where it just didn't get up there. She leaves the 2-pin. One of the great keys to her game, she's so clean out of it, and her hand's in such a good spot. So she's able to stay in that same spot throughout the games as the transition's happening, and her ball just rolls right up off of it.
Uh-oh. They just dropped it out of there. A big miss, unexpectedly, but that's the beauty and sometimes the not so pretty of college bowling. And Robert Morris sitting at 143 through 8, and the noise you hear is from the Pikeville team.
The only thing I can say about that is that that's sheer nerves. You know, they have a couple open frames, but those simple spares like that, a 2-pin, cannot be missing those spares in tight matches.
Now let's see what Astrid Valiente can do. And a fiery number 3 bowler. A big strike for Pikeville, because Robert Morris in 3 of their last 4 frames has opened. The only good frame they've had since the 4th was a strike in the 7th. And that lead is now just 14, and Pikeville will be working off a strike. Score with.
Key frame used to set up that anchor bowler. One of the most important frames of the game.
What a beautiful shot. That will give Robert Morris a chance at a 203.
Just another great shot out of 20. She is just on fire. She is in the right place. Her ball is reading this pattern perfect, and she is throwing it really good.
Christina Halen. Pikeville, if they punch out, what can win. That's got to slide in. Nope. Left it out.
Pikeville's got 190. Well, not now. I was going to say 199. 179 if she spares and they strike out. Robert Morris, 203 potential.
Right here. Whole team behind you. Whole team behind you.
Got to cover it.
Here we go.
And she came right, turn around to me and said, pick me up. But we've already seen how tough Samantha Kelly is in the 10th frame in game 1. And she has a chance to put this match away and make it, this game away, I should say, and make it 2-0 in this best 3 of 5. And put Robert Morris in a position where Pikeville is going to have to make a big-time comeback. Just need 8 pins to win this game. Well, you can take 10 too. Once again, she comes through for Robert Morris. They now lead 2-0. It was last year when their unbelievably talented men's team won the ITC. And now the women are a win away from their first national championship here in Reno at the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships. Robert Morris Morris, Illinois, their women's team, sitting pretty here, winning that second game. They now have 2 points. They need just one more in this best-of-5 format. Here at Reno, what a great building this is here, the Reno Sparks Convention Center, our host for this event. Now, Pikeville has made some lineup changes, not at the top, where Brianna Larson will still be the leadoff bowler, but Ron Damron, you see over there with the coach lanyard, has made some shifts to the middle of his lineup, and Larson will leave a 7-pin. No changes that we know of for Robert Morris, and why not? They're up 2-0.
And they're in the pocket. They're hitting the pocket consistently. They're making their spares. So right now the chemistry is good. Brianna has a great look to the pocket. She just needs to slow it down, or once again, I would make that slight move to the right. I don't think they're hitting enough of the dry yet.
Pikeville, a finalist a year ago, lost to Maryland Eastern Shore. They're back. Robert Morris Eagles looking for their first title on the women's side, and an unexpected mistake for Pikeville. You can capture the excitement of USBC's national tournaments with the USBC Open Championships, USBC Women's Championships, and the all-new USBC Mixed. Head to bowl.com/tournaments for more information. You can also get a lot of live streaming on bowl.com. Action from all over the country. So, Lori Hankin.
Lori's making a ball change. Ball that's a little bit cleaner. It gives her a little bit more on the back. That's actually not a bad shot. I gotta tell you, I really like that reaction. Her ball actually made a move to the pocket, which is what she wasn't getting earlier. So now she can make that just maybe 1-in-1 parallel left and keep the speed just the same, and she should be fine.
The Eagles were second in the Addison, Illinois sectional to qualify to get to Reno. No problem. Now here's where the lineup changes start to take effect for Pikeville. We're taking a look at Kaylee Magazine. She is a junior from Clearwater in the Tampa-St. Pete area. Yeah, I think it's got to be difficult on both because you're just coming in, and it's only going to be hard on the bowler who was replaced. In this case, Ashley Copley.
And you've had no warm-up shots. You're coming in cold, so you have to be aggressive.
And she'll have a makeable spare to take care of. Certainly cranked it.
She definitely has. She has a little bit more hand rotation than the other girls, absolutely, but she's just way too deep on this pattern. She was crossing 15, 16 at the arrows. This pattern is flat. I cannot emphasize that enough. It's a tough pattern. By all means, it is a tough pattern. But as much as we would love to get up there and tell the lanes what we're going to do, the lane is going to tell us and dictate where we play. And right now, the people that have the best look at the pocket are straighter to the front and further right, break point about 8.
A badly needed spare for Pikeville. So, Carolyn, take us through that pattern one more time.
Let's look at the pattern. The pattern tells you it's 38 feet. There is a high volume of oil on the lanes. You are not going to be able to go away from the pocket. You're also using oil that's going to burn up a little bit in the front, but the carry down from the middle part of the lane to the back, because of the pattern, there's a lot of oil on the back of this pattern. You've got to be further right and allow the ball to roll up smooth off the little bit of dry from the surface that was on the balls. That's where you need to be.
Katie Sexton for the Eagles. No, that's going to wobble around a little bit but not fall.
She's a great example, though. If you watch this ball, it got to the dry and made that turn to the pocket. She's much further right. She's hitting 8, 9 at the arrows. Great shot.
And a Mardi Gras colored strike ball.
I like that. Mardi Gras.
That's what it looks like. Every time I saw it, I thought of Mardi Gras immediately. It had the same colors to it. No trouble there. Now another one of the lineup changes for Pikeville. Lauren Eggleton from Hurricane, West Virginia, junior. Now Lauren finished up the game and threw 2 strikes and probably bowled her way into this match with those 2 strikes. Didn't bowl that way, however. Strike in this critical game because Pikeville must win to stay alive. Robert Morris has all the cards at the moment. They have an 11-pin lead and a 2-0 lead. First to 3 points takes home the Helmer Cup, which the players can look at if they like. It's right there lane side. Player you've been very impressed with so far today.
Unbelievable. And the girls that are bowling well also are using aggressive equipment. Like we said, everybody was using surface because of the pattern, but they're using aggressive equipment so that it allows them to get that roll they need.
Oof, that just hunted down the pocket. Her 4th strike of the match.
Again, 8-9 at the arrows. It's telling you that's where it is. She's got that little bit of hand rotation. She's so clean out of it, though, and yet gets it out on the lane. It's great. She's got such good fundamentals and so solid at the line right now.
Jack Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Pikeville team that is trying to avoid being swept in this match. They must take the next 3 games, next 3 points. But they're down in this match without a strike through the first 5. Brianna Larson bowling the 1st and 6th frames. And you see the situation. Pikeville down 14, but it seems like more. Big hit for Brianna Larson. And a badly needed strike for Pikeville. And so much for the theory the toughest shot to throw is coming out of break.
I was just going to say that. No, her angles were great on this shot. She amped up her speed just a little bit to keep it on target. Did not miss right. Perfect shot.
So the veteran, Lori Hankin, will try to quiet down Pikeville a little bit.
Lori's last shot, she made a ball change, and it actually looked much better than the ball she was using previously because the other ball just wasn't quite getting to the pocket, so she opted for still a strong ball, but a little bit cleaner to give a little bit more on the back.
Good looking ball there, too. Lori Hankin responds for the Eagles.
She made a 1-and-1 move to the left to make that move off the 4-pin, and look at this. Come on, baby. It was perfect.
For the grad student from Oregon coming through with a big shot. So Kaylee Magazine, first game she's bowled in, she set out the first 2. 8 spare in her first frame, and that was the 2nd frame. First for her today. Well, now, Pikeville is indeed swinging back.
Moved a little bit further right, kept her angle much straighter through the front. Look at this. It's 12 at the arrows, out to about 10. Perfect. Great. I'm going to tell you, that was a great move, especially coming off the bench. First shot, you know, you got to think it might have been nerves a little bit. That is a great shot after only having 1.
All right, Katie Sexton, it's your turn. Katie 9 spare in her 2nd frame in this game.
I'll do it.
Okay. It's haymaker after haymaker suddenly here. 3 in a row for Robert Morris. And now some of the spirit of college bowling comes out, and very quickly, as you see the champions. So this will be the first time in this decade that it won't be Weber or Maryland Eastern Shore, and we got another strike. Eggleton coming through.
Coach Ron said they were going to make the move, catch the dry, and they sure did. This ball comes up just a little high, but a great move off her last shot. She trips the 4.
But it's still a 14-pin lead. Incredibly, Robert Morris has taken every shot and come right back with their own. And number 3 bowler, Leah Hayworth, 3rd and 8th frame. That's what the 38 on her sleeve stands for. Flushed it. And you hear her teammate, the male teammates over there, MVP.
Absolutely phenomenal. She has only missed 1 shot in all of these games, and every other one has been just like that.
The United States Bowling Conference.
Astrid Valiente knows exactly what she has to do. And it didn't work. She just sort of nudged the head pin over. Difficult shot there, 3-6-7.
She didn't like the shot off her hand. She wasn't clean with it at all. Missed way left. She fell off her shot a little bit at the foul line, but she yelled at it. It didn't listen. But she's got to make the spare.
They're not all you, Carolyn.
No.
You're the only one who can yell at a ball and get it to do something.
Not quite.
I don't know. So Robert Morris now on the precipice of the first championship for the women's program. First national championship for the women's program. They've won a lot of tournaments. Last year, their men's team, a remarkably talented unit, won comfortably the ITC in the men's in Lincoln, Nebraska. Tony Vollmer here with a chance to really blow this open. Up 41 already. Robert Morris has strung together as a team. 4 straight. But no major damage done to a shot that went through the face. A makeable 3-6.
That shot right there, if it was me, probably the nerves set in a little bit, because right there, if you struck, it was definitely over. She lifted up at the foul line. You could see, not one of her best shots. Missed way left, but she got a break with this spare, basically.
Well, Pikeville's max is 186, so a conversion here will put them at 175 in the 8th. And pretty much take care of it. It's 2. So the sophomore, Caitlin Simpson. That's great news for Pikeville. Their top bowler. She's got 2 years left. She's out of Emmett, Idaho, near Boise. Must double. Really needs to get all 3. And that's it. That'll do it, because Robert Morris, Illinois, has won.
It didn't seem like Pikeville ever really got comfortable, you know, found their spot on the lane. It just, there really is nothing else to say about it. They missed a couple easy spares, but just not being comfortable on the lane. And from the get-go, frame 1, Robert Morris was in the pocket.
Well, Pikeville tried changing lineups. They made some changes. They made a change here as well. Fallon Tallman getting an opportunity. She is also a sophomore. But it's party time for Robert Morris University. I think they're going to make a change too and put in, it might be Alejandra Mora from Columbia. She's a grad student. So experience matters in this situation. You had Lori Hankin in the leadoff position. She's a grad student from Oregon City. She bowled from McHenry. She knows the sport. You've got another grad student here too in Alejandra Mora. You lose Samantha Kelly and Tawny Vollmer to graduation and Katie Sexton. So there's going to be some changes for this Eagles program going into next year. But you know what? They'll worry about that tomorrow.
How sweet is it to go out a champion?
Yep. And as we talked about at the top of the show, your friends for life, both in joy and in defeat. We will meet the champions from Robert Morris, Illinois. The Eagles have won at sweeping Pikeville to win the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Women's Team Championship. We'll meet the winners in a moment. It was a sweep, and your champions are the Robert Morris. Defeating an outstanding team from Pikeville, the second straight year they're runners-up in this event. And Dale Lehman, the head coach of Robert Morris, you said your team was hungry, and they've eaten well.
Thank you. We talked about it from our first meeting of the year, what our end goal was, and we said we had to get there. We couldn't even have an attempt to get our end goal unless we were bowling on Friday. So once you get here, you never know what's going to happen. But we've been working very hard all year. Every girl has worked amazingly hard, and we got to our goal. And then once you get today, you just give it your best shot and see what happens.
You seem to have had a good look at it. Just about everybody had good shots all day long.
Absolutely. We had a really good look outside all week, actually. It really never went away. We just had to make small moves. But the girls were extremely good at hitting their targets and trusting and being very, very patient. And I said nine spares good. 9 spare wins matches. And if you roll the ball well, those 9 spares all of a sudden are strikes and strings of strikes. Just be patient and roll the ball, and that's what we did today. Girls both absolutely amazing.
And now they've matched the men's program with a title, and now you can talk trash to them and wonder what's taking you guys so long to win another one. Congratulations to our champion, the Eagles of Robert Morris University, Illinois. Be sure to be with us next week for more from the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Championships. For scores, highlights, features, and more, log on to cbssports.com. For Carolyn Doran Ballard and our entire crew, I'm Dave Lamont. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Take it back to Chicago, the ultimate carry-on luggage.